aspects of the digital recording systems right now, platforms. So
Yes.
it's been really interesting.
Yes, and tell me, did you how did you start to write your own material, lyrics and music?
When I was 16, I wrote my first song, and my
Mhm.
husband knew music. I did not. I knew the melody and I had words. And I gave it to him, and he and I figured out chords and got it worked out that way. But eventually, when I got the keyboard, when I first got the first piano, I really was able to sit down and understand what a chord looked like in a different form, and it made sense for some reason. It made better sense to me than guitar even. And so when I was able to pound out a melody, one note at a time, it actually helped me create and understand what I was doing. So I think that was the first time I was really able to write a melody was when I was about 19, 20 years old. And it was from
Mhm.
then on, I just started to understand the theory, how to apply chord structure, how to, all that stuff and all the things you have to apply when you're writing a song. So
Yes.
that's, yeah, it took a while, but it happened.
Yes, and I remember you sent me your recent single cover. This is correct today.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we have
Mm.
Ivory Towers, which is the CD. It's all
Uh-huh.
instrumental. And then I had a new release that's going to be coming out real soon. That's an official release. It's going to call Her Moon and Stars. And then I have quite a few things down the road here that will be releasing,
Mhm.
sporadic. So
Is there a certain theme you are tackling in your recent production, music and songs?
a theme, you mean, lyrically or
Y- Yes,
dynamic?
like what are the lyrics talking about, and what can the people expect from uh,
There's a
from
lot of
hearing it?
intimacy. Yeah, there's a lot of intimacy, a lot of firsthand emotional. Hey, this is what I'm going through, or this is what I saw someone else going through. Like, I have a song that's going to be done here really soon. It's called "I'm Finally Home," and that song was derived from
Yes,
when we were finishing the Ivory Tower CD. The engineer at the time, his name is Peter Tabone,
yes,
Tony, and
yes,
he had leukemia, and he literally
yes.
finished the CD and then passed away like 3 weeks later. And it was his
Really?
last project. Yeah, it was his last project, and we knew that he was not going to make it. But I gave him this song because I felt like it was a way to comfort him and let him know that it was okay. It was hard
Hmm.
for him, I think, to let go. And
Hmm.
so it was a song that I wrote for him to really share, what I thought God was telling me to tell him to do and what was happening. And I really feel that that song can be applied to so many right now because of the fact that we went through COVID and so many people have lost loved ones. It's a real comfort, I think, to a lot of people who hear this song. But it's really based off a personal experience with me and Peter, and as we watched him go through what he was going through, and so that was a very personal thing for me because it was very
Yes.
hard to watch him go through that personally, one on one. Sitting in the studio with him and watching him struggle. But he did amazing job, an amazing job,
Yes.
and we actually tributed the CD to him. We actually honored him with it being done in his honor.
Yes.
So.
And Kathy, I am from a generation where we used to buy cassettes, then we were introduced to CD, and then right now everything online. Spotify, I don't miss my cassettes. I still have them from the 90s, but
I
all the
do too.
songs I still, I right now when I like to listen to songs, I put on Spotify or some other platforms. But I
Yeah.
want to ask you from a point of view of a musician like yourself and your husband, um, how right now you intend to promote your new production? I mean, does CD sell right now? Do you like to put like you told me, you shoot music videos. You like to put your arts on Spotify. Because all the artists right now should be a good marketing people for themselves, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The marketing and the promotional structures have changed so dramatically, and since
Mm-hmm.
like in the 80s or 90s, when I started doing music, and it's a very self-driven. Record labels don't even want to touch you if you don't have a fan base, and the only way you're going to get a fan base is if you go out and chase it. And they don't like to see, low numbers. They want to see somebody who's motivating and attract people's attention.
Yes.
And so digitally, I actually learned a lot through the CD release because I come from the old school. I'm the CD person
Yes.
that I want a hard physical CD. And people are like, no, we want to download. And so we really have to focus on platforms that allow for single song download, and you have to hit them in a very personal way. You have to be able to reach out to them through emails, through chats, through platforms, through text, and through different venues that allow for you to actually have a relationship with your audience. And you have to attack it in a totally different way. Before, it would be like, okay, I'm going to put my CD out here, I'm going to put out a few platforms, and we'll let nature take its course. If they like a song, they'll buy the whole CD, and that's not the case anymore. You have to attract for every song, and you have to give them a reason to want to buy your stuff. And it all relies on that personal relationship of getting to know your fan base, communicating with them on a regular basis, and showing an interest and giving them what they really want to hear. you know
Yes.
so
And if some people would like to purchase your new CDs, where can they find it in the United States?
Well, right now, my CD is on CD Baby. It's also on Amazon and all the major
Mm-hmm.
markets. Like, uh, it's let's see, CD Baby, pretty much at every major platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on some of the local radio stations, on the internet radio stations. Let's see, and the new songs that are going to be coming out, I'm actually going to be releasing them under a different publisher. I'm going to be changing from CD Baby to another publisher. We haven't worked out all the fine details on that yet, but that will be coming in the next few months. We're hoping to have a release in the next month, 60 days, I think is what we were talking about doing. So once we get the releases going one on one, we'll have some information passed along. But right now we're still kind of working on details on dates and timeframes and stuff. Um,
Excellent.
so it should be really interesting. We actually have two projects that I'm working on right now. I have a vocal project that's going to be 4 vocal songs, and then I have an instrument EP that's going to be 4 instrumental songs. So we'll be releasing 2 separate EPs down the road. So it's going to take a little
Excellent.
while. We were kind of getting waylaid by COVID. In fact, one of my engineers is down with COVID right now. So
Yes.
we'll keep
Really.
getting
Oh my
stopped.
God.
And we
Mm.
stop. Yeah, really.
Yes. But
So,
tell me, Kathy, do you have certain plans or hopes for the new year you want to achieve?
wow. You know what? I would love to see venues open up fully. I mean, really embrace the live performer again and get out there on the road next summer. Right now, they're starting to open up in Vegas. We're starting to see some things, but there's a high competition right now with the big names. So the little
Yes.
guys are playing little open stages and little things here and there. So I'd like
Hmm.
to see some, maybe some festivals and see some open markets for instrumental music and rock and roll.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Let's rock and roll. Yes. Katie, I want to thank you very much and
Thank you.
for this live interview. I wish you all the best in your upcoming projects. Looking forward for your new
Yes.
albums, EPs, and singles. And I wish you all the best as well in the promotion and distribution of your new
I
music
appreciate that.
across
Thank you.
the digital platforms. Yes.
I appreciate that. I hope you stay in touch. Let you
Thank
know
you
what's
very
going on.
much. All
All
my
right.
best wishes. Thank you
All
very
right. Happy
much.
holidays. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.